Just look at me now. Just look at me now. Just look at me now. Eyes upon me, take a look at me now. Just look at me now. Just look at me now. Eyes upon me, take a look at me now. Takes on the strike.
Are champions.
Hello and welcome to the Women's Football Show. 6 matches from the weekend to bring you with bags of goals, plenty of drama and shock results. Here's what's coming up. Arsenal went in search of their 4th consecutive league win. They travelled to the King Power to face Leicester City. 2 sides with impressive starts to the season went head-to-head. The Spurs played host to Liverpool. And Manchester City look to maintain their dominance over Brighton, having won all 9 of their previous meetings. And we have a gleaming lineup in the studios. I'm joined by 2 footballing legends, WSL Hall of Fame inductee Rachel Yankey, and here to make her debut on the show, still the current WSL record appearance holder, Kerys Harrop. Now, football aside for a moment, on Remembrance Sunday, across all matches this weekend, a moment of reflection was held before kick-off to pay tribute to those who have lost their lives fighting for their country. We stay at the King Power Stadium as Leicester City welcomed Arsenal. Nigel Adderley was your commentator.
Willie Kirk has chosen to make 2 tactical changes and has opted for the experience of Janice Cayman and the pace of Deanne Rose, with Josie Green and Missy Goodwin dropping to the bench following the 2-1 loss at Liverpool. Cayman and Sophie Howard have been paired together to try and deal with the threat of Alicia Russo, who scored a hat-trick against Leicester last season. Arsenal are without Kim Little and Leah Volti due to injury, so Australian international Kyra Cooney-Cross makes her full debut in the Women's Super League, and Frida Marnham, who scored home and away against Leicester last season, they come into midfield. Beth Mead and Vivian Miedemar continue their comebacks from the bench, where they're joined by 17-year-old striker Vivian Leah. Leitzing has given the ball away cheaply to Palova. The ultimate game of 2 halves. It is finished. Leicester City 2, Arsenal 6.
Well, what a way to start the show. An 8-goal thriller. And Rachel, for your former team, Arsenal, a magnificent comeback. Talk to me about the mentality needed to go in 2-0 down at the break to come back and win 6-2.
Yeah, I think, you know, the character they've shown, obviously, this is an Arsenal team that are looking to win the league, you know, looking to get back into the Champions League.
Missy Goodwin's legs, then absolutely definitely, but she's purposely tried to stop her left foot and it's planted into the ground, and I think Missy Goodwin's probably looked for that a little bit, but yeah, definitely not a penalty in my eyes.
Yes, a very good day in the office for Arsenal. Now, though, our focus turns to 2 sides who entered the weekend level on points. Liverpool looked to do the double over the North London clubs since their opening day victory over the Gunners, whilst Tottenham aim to extend their 4-match unbeaten run.
Drew Spence misses her first game for Tottenham since arriving last summer. The midfielder has picked up an injury that is set to keep her out for a few weeks. So Kit Graham makes her first league start of the season. Martha Thomas tops the WSL scoring charts. What a signing she has been since arriving from Manchester United in September. 7 goals in all competitions. 6 of those have come in just 5 WSL games this season. 6 changes from Liverpool's Continental Cup defeat to Manchester City in midweek, but just 2 from their league win over Leicester. Mia Enderby impressed against City and earns her first WSL start, with Kerry Holland also coming in. Jasmine Matthews is out injured, while Missy Beaucairns drops to the bench. Backup goalkeeper Tegan Micah is out with a calf problem, so 16-year-old Eva Spencer comes into the squad. Clark forwards, Roman Howe. Nice ball to Herbinger, and suddenly the space opens up a little for Liverpool. And 1-1 it finishes, and these two keep pace with each other as they push towards the top of the WSL.
So the Spurs boss, Robert Villaham there, Rachel, saying a draw was a fair result. Do you agree?
Yeah, I probably would agree with him, I think.
Hasn't it? But look, our next stop is to Manchester, as City looked to bounce back following their defeat at the hands of Arsenal last weekend. They welcomed a Brighton side who had failed to keep a clean sheet in all their last 15 away WSL matches. Chris Slegg watched the action unfold.
Manchester City, such a fine record against Brighton in the WSL. 8 wins, 1 draw. And such a fine record in the league this season in defeat to Arsenal. And an early shot off the bar from Chloe Kelly. 20 seconds in and Chloe Kelly rattles the woodwork. Torresdottir's done well to push her wide, but Shaw still has it. Short to Morgan. It has finished Manchester City 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1.
Well, I tell you what, Manchester is a long old road trip for Brighton. I imagine it's a very happy bus ride home this evening. But has this win against a top 4, the so-called Big 4, been coming? Because we saw Brighton go 1-0 up against Chelsea and then lose. They went 1-0 up against Manchester United and then draw. Did you see this coming, Rachel? Well, now it's time to round up the 3 remaining matches, starting with the league leaders Chelsea as they travel to Everton. Emma Jones talks us through the best of the rest of the action.
Everton had lost 11 of their previous 12 Barclays WSL matches against Chelsea. Another fine performance from Emma Hayes' side. West Ham had lost all 3 of their Barclays WSL away matches against Manchester United and made the worst possible start on Sunday to seal a statement win for Manchester United. Aston Villa travelled to Bristol City as the only Barclays WSL side yet to pick up a point this season. A deserved first win of the season for Aston Villa, which eases the pressure on manager Carla Ward.
So Villa finally get their first league win of the season. That's after scoring 5 goals midweek in the League Cup. Rachel, is that easing the pressure on Carla Ward? Well, let's see how all that affects the Barclays Women's Super League table. Chelsea stay top of the table whilst Arsenal jump from 5th to 2nd. Manchester United complete the top 3. Chelsea and Manchester United, the only 2 sides yet to taste defeat this season. Manchester City's loss mean they drop from 2nd to 6th, and Aston Villa leapfrog Bristol City, but only on goal difference. In the Barclays Championship today, Sunderland suffered their first defeat of the season against Blackburn Rovers. Chelsea Ferguson's initial shot was palmed away by Claudia Moan, but the striker pounced on the rebound in the 57th minute to score the only goal of the game. Elsewhere in the Championship, Crystal Palace came from behind to beat Lewis in a 3-2 thriller. Charlton put 2 past Southampton, whilst Durham and Birmingham City claimed 3 points away from home, and nothing could separate Reading and Watford. Well, Sunderland's loss means they drop down to 2nd place, whilst Charlton now lead at the top of the table on goals scored. Crystal Palace sit 3rd, just 1 point behind the top 2, with Southampton completing the top 4, whilst the rest of the table are unchanged, heading into match week 11. Well, there's a lot to look forward to on the BBC. We have live coverage of the Men's FA Cup first round replay of Cray Valley Paper Mills against Charlton Athletic on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. That's on BBC Two. The Monday Night Club returns as Mark Chapman and the guests debate this weekend's football action. That's tomorrow at 7 p.m. on BBC Sounds. And on Saturday afternoon, Emma Hayes' Chelsea host Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. Catch the build-up at 1:15 on BBC One. And head to the iPlayer now to watch this one. Well, Kerys, Rachel, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
Well, what about this? It's Rousseau! Ford! 3-2 up in the blink of an eye. Arsenal do have a 4th. 2 goals down at half-time. They lead 6-2.